But as you know, we have football on the brain here quite a bit. And we have mock drafts on the brain.
Ah, let's go.
And the thing we love about mock drafts is it gives you food for thought. And the latest one that we are going to be taking a look at gives us a lot of food for thought. As we are now hurtling towards 1 month until this NFL draft.
30 days from today.
Here we go. 30 days from today. We'll be in Green Bay, Wisconsin, doing the show all 3 days of draft week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We will be there discussing a whole bunch of stuff that we still don't know. But here's what we've got. We got ourselves a mock draft from our friend Chad Reuter of NFL.com. And he's just next level. He did 4 rounds.
Whoa.
We're not going to go through all 4 rounds.
Oh.
But we are gonna mock it like a hurricane here, as we always do. There we go. The Smitches created a nice new graphic. Wow. Mock you like a hurricane.
That is amazing.
Yep. And for those who are listening, there's a very, what do you say, a metal look to the graphic?
Very 80s.
80s metal.
Obviously, it's a Scorpion song.
No, I do not believe Tawny Katane will be rolling all over the graphic here.
That'll be Whitesnake.
That's correct.
Right.
That's what I was going for.
R.I.P. Tony Katane.
We are not hot for teacher. We're hot for mock drafts. Chad Reuter's first 10. Here we go. He says, I think everybody believes it right now. Cam Ward's going first overall. Yep. I have not met a soul who's like,
Same.
Okay, Abdul Carter is number 1 overall. I don't know if it's the foot that raised a red flag at the combine. I don't know if everybody just have seen Cam Ward's tape now. I don't know if everybody just doesn't believe in Will Levis. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but we are now 30 days from the draft, and I have not met another human being that believes the Titans will do anything but stick and pick and take Cam Ward. Now, we got Mayock on in hour number 3. I'll ask him why there's consensus now on that. And then Cleveland, which currently hired Kenny Pickett via trade and doesn't have another QB on the roster right now with significant starters history. Nobody there thinks Shedeur Sanders is going, even though the number of people that have come on this program and says Shedeur is a fit quarterback. What does that mean? He can't just go anywhere. He's got to go somewhere where a coach runs a system that fits him. He fits that. It's a broadside. It's a back of the hand when you call somebody a system fit quarterback.
Yeah.
He's gotta be in the right spot. He's got to be in the right offense. Got to have the right nurturing soul for him. And that's why when I asked Todd McShay last week, Todd. Hey, how come people out there think that Shedeur Sanders doesn't have a first-round grade? And he says, because he doesn't. And he thinks Shedeur's going to go 2nd overall to Cleveland because he's a perfect system fit for Kevin Stefanski. And not Chad Reuter. He thinks they go Abdul Carter. And I'll just say this. Hey, Cleveland sports fans. You stick Abdul Carter on the other side of Myles Garrett.
Yo.
Holy cow. I mean, you're going to sack a ton of people and maybe win games 14-10. Just give that defense a couple of touchdowns.
Yep.
I mean, Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett coming for you. You can't sit there and think anything but this is just as significant as taking a quarterback that you don't have full confidence in. Because this is a guy that when Myles finally does move on, he'll be somebody sitting on our Super Bowl set demanding a trade. Wait a minute, is this thing on? He's pretty good is basically what I'm saying, and then it doesn't sound like a bad idea right there. And then Chad's got Shedeur going to the Giants, who signed Jameis Winston over the weekend. We'll discuss that further in depth later on. And then there's another consensus pick, Chris.
This is the third one I've seen now.
In a row. Travis Hunter goes to the Patriots. And everybody says he's going to be the wide receiver for Drake May first with a package of cornerback work.
Now we're talking.
Second.
Let's go. Todd McShay called him the best wide receiver in this draft.
Cooper Eisen fully says yes to that. Ashton Genty is sixth after Mason Graham goes fifth to the Jaguars.
That's another one that we've seen time and time again. Ashton Genty going to the Raiders.
Graham fifth. I mean, with all due respect to Travis Etienne, who didn't have a great season last year, got to sit here and wonder why Jacksonville wouldn't take Ashton Genty off the board either.
Rich. You're the first one I've heard say that.
Hey, man, we're 30 days of the draft. I'm just throwing stuff against the wall. It's not like Liam Cohen's an offensive guy. Mason Graham, you know how I feel about him and how terrific he is in the middle of the defensive line. He's tough to pass up. Jalen Walker, 8th. And we're going to talk about that linebacker and edge rusher out of Georgia with Mayock later on. He loves Jalen Walker. Carolina would take him. Then the Saints and the Bears take the top two tackles off the ball. Oh, actually, it's Will Johnson of Michigan going 9th overall to the Saints. And then Armand Membu is the first tackle off the board. Will Campbell, pardon me, is going to go 11th, but we'll go there in a second because I'd like to hit the pause button here. Okay. So going over Chad Reuter, our friend at NFL.com, he does mock drafts every year. We're into the mock draft world. I have not seen anybody say that the Jets will take, with the 7th overall pick, Jaxson Dart. If that happens on draft night.
Baby.
If that happens on draft night, two things. Number one, I feel for Justin Fields because he would become essentially the Kirk Cousins of this equation, making half of what Kirk Cousins in 1 year, or making in 2 years what Kirk Cousins made in 1 year, to sit there and be told on draft night, the 7th overall pick's going to a quarterback. And then all of us on the draft set going, whoa. Now, it's one thing to do that to a veteran in Kirk Cousins. It's another thing to do it to a kid who is still trying to get his sea legs under him with a fully confident stride because the team that's paying him is confident in him. And the Jets going and paying $20 million a year to Justin Fields only to turn around and say, we've fallen in love with Ole Miss's Jaxson Dart, and we're going to bring him to New York. And he's kind of pro-ready. It's not like you got to sit him and let Justin Fields take the reins here like he's Mitch Trubisky. And Dart is Justin Fields. I know Justin Fields came off of the campus at The Ohio State, and the Bears treated him like we got to coach him up a little bit here before he gets out there. But if this happens to Justin Fields, I would feel for him. Because that would mean he would have all of about 7 weeks between free agency and the draft thinking he's the future of the New York Jets, and he has every opportunity to take that future because you don't take a quarterback 7th overall and think, well, I guess we'll just trade him at some point because Justin Fields has become so incredible. That just doesn't happen. Anybody takes a quarterback 7th overall, he's playing. Just ask Kirk Cousins. And the other thing I would think of is, why a new team would go ahead and take somebody free agency. And I know, again, he's not Kirk Cousins, but why would you do that and then take the quarterback anyway? Why are you building the team like that? Why are you inviting, if you're Aaron Glenn, all the conversation of when is Jaxson Dart getting it? Why isn't Jaxson Dart getting it? And I understand if Jaxson Dart turns into Josh Allen, those questions don't mean anything because you got yourself your quarterback of the future. But I have not heard the Jets are going quarterback 7th overall since Justin Fields came on board. You heard that all throughout January up until free agency. That would be wild if that happens. And then, of course, the conversation in New York with 2 rookie quarterbacks, the Giants taking Deion's kid and the Jets taking Jaxson Dart, and which one is actually going to pan out. That would just be wild. New York media would dig this first top 10. Digging in further. Some interesting food for thought here in this mock draft is Tyler Warren going to Denver, 12th overall. That would be something. Because wait till you hear who Chad thinks that the Broncos are taking later on in the draft. The Cardinals going tackle, also like the Niners, Colston Loveland with 2. So go tackle, tight end, which would be pretty wild. Jahad Campbell. A lot of people have just pegged that Alabama backer to Atlanta. Jahdae Barron, a corner out of Texas, going to Miami. Michael Williams, the edge rusher out of Georgia, going to Cincinnati. Ted McMillan joining the Seattle offense for Sam Darnold.
That's fun.
Shamar Stewart, the edge out of Texas A&M, going to rush for Tampa. And then the Cowboys would take Ibuka out of the Ohio State. You would dig that kid, pal.
I'm looking at the stats from last year. That English straight.
How about Omarion Hampton going to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Ooh.
Omarion.
Because I'm assuming this is the assumption that Rodgers is going there. Iziraku, who's having his pro day today in Boston College, would be a Charger. Matthew Golden to Green Bay. The Bills would trade up to take the cornerback Azaria Thomas out of Florida State. Yada, yada, yada. There's Nick Eamon-Worry one more time. He goes to Minnesota. There's a lot of trades he has here that the Eagles and Rams would trade. Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss would be the defensive tackle to replace the guy, your new Patriot, Christopher, who bolted the Eagles after dominating the Super Bowl. And the Rams would take Isaiah Bond out of Texas, with the Chiefs trading up to take Tyler Booker, the guard out of Alabama. And the Ravens and the Chiefs have made trades before. And that is the mock draft first round for Chad Reuter. I have one more page.
I like it.
Chad did 3 more rounds. Chad, what are you doing with your life, man? Providing the Rich Eisen Show with content. That's what he's doing.
Are we going to run down that real quick?
Well, not all of it. Here are some interesting ones. Cowboys take 44th overall Travion Henderson. I'll tell you again, if you take Ibuka and Travion Henderson,
that's a good draft
from Ohio State in your first 2 rounds, that's a way to get this thing popping.
No doubt. The last time we picked the RB out of Ohio State, it worked out pretty well. So
I believe we have Travion on the program this week. Do we? Is he one of our guests?
I think you're right about that. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think he plants the flag right in the middle of our show on Wednesday. Quinn Ewers would be the Seattle quarterback. Sam Darnold would just be, really? I didn't see that one coming.
Well, as we know, in Sam's contract, there's an out after 1 year.
Strange bedfellows. Jim would take Quinshon Judkins, the running back of Ohio State. By the way, if he
also
pairs Judkins with Najee Harris, that's what we call a running back room.
Smash mouth.
James Pierce Jr., who I loved at the Combine, would be a Lion edge rusher out of Tennessee. Not bad at the end of round 2. Jalen Milroe would go to the Raiders at the top of round 3.
I like that spot for him.
Round 3, add Jalen Milroe to Geno Smith's
that's fun
quarterback room. Now, Carson Schlesinger is on here out of UCLA, 72nd overall to the Bears. He's a notable pick. Perhaps, he's a good player. I'm just wondering, did Smitch choose this because he went to UCLA? Is that why Sean Mitchell chose him to just throw on this list here? Because Smitch is the one who put together this list. Anybody want to chime in here?
So wait, this isn't
No,
Chad's list?
he's a good player.
Oh.
It's Chad's list.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
Tyler Shuck would go 83rd overall to Pittsburgh. Now we're talking.
I like that.
So the oldest quarterback in the draft would be in the quarterback room with a 41-year-old.
With the oldest quarterback in the league. Yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
Together, and they've got Social Security. Kyle McCord would go to Cleveland at the top of round 4.
I like it.
And the Q's is in the house.
Too late. He's got to go in the 3rd round. Come on now.
To you? To New England?
No, just in the 3rd round.
Oh, okay, I got you.
He's a 3rd round talent.
Okay, good. Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback out of Oregon, who's called Tua 2.0 because he's a lefty, who's 5'11".
Oh.
And boy, the comparisons he would have to Tua would be off the charts if he does, in fact, go to the Miami Dolphins, 116th overall. By the way, I looked up Tua's height. You know he's listed as 6'1".
No chance.
He is, in fact, at the pro day of Alabama, 6'125". So the Dolphins are rounding up.
Always round up, Rich.
Always.
And then lastly, how about this one? Cam Scatterboo.
Scatterboo.
Going to the Denver Broncos. Is that your joker? Your matchup nightmare? A guy who can run it, catch it, throw it.
What pick is that? 120 something?
122. That's a 4th rounder.
That seems low for
That's
him.
a 4th rounder. So the first draft choice of the Denver Broncos, according to Chad, would be Tyler Warren out of Penn State, and then Cam Scatterboo at the 4th round for that offense. I can't get enough of this kid. I was so bummed he didn't work out at the combine. I can't get enough of him. And I just love his game, and him in the hands of Sean Payton is exactly what this kid should want. And Denver Broncos fans would just go out of their minds. Again, I know it's a 4th round pick. I would have fun with this on Saturday afternoon. Hopefully a beautiful Wisconsin day.
Scatterboo.
Cam Scatterboo. And that's your mock draft. We just mocked that like a hurricane. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.